Bear down, Chicago Bears. It's a victory Sunday as Shane Waldron dialed up an awesome game plan, and Matt Eberflus was able to out-scheme Super Bowl winning head coach Sean McVay in what turned out to be a Bears victory. This defense stepped up when it mattered most. Caleb Williams finally got into a rhythm, and DeAndre Swift even got going. Swift had 165 yards and a touchdown, finally showing why he was signed as a free agent and finally being utilized the right way by Shane Waldron. This offense looked like they finally started to carve out an identity and get things rolling. I actually have to give my game ball to Matt Eberflus today, who going into this game I thought would get outcoached badly by Sean McVay, but Eberflus out-schemed the Rams coach during a couple of key moments in this game. But the biggest one was after the Rams called their first timeout in the fourth quarter. The Rams had a 2nd and 10 in Bears territory and a chance to tie this game up. The Rams had to call a timeout, and coming out of that timeout, I challenged Eberflus during my live stream. I wanted to see him dial something up, and he surprised me so much on that play call. After a timeout, Sean McVay, one of the best play callers in the NFL, gets out-schemed by Matt Eberflus. Jaquan Brisker has a free backside blitz and sacks Matt Stafford, setting up a 3rd and long, again holding the Rams to just a field goal. What a play call by Matt Eberflus after a timeout. But then after the offense stalled on the final 2 drives of the game, Eberflus would again dial up pressure on Matt Stafford, forcing him to throw an interception to Jaquan Brisker, icing this football game after Tory Taylor pinned the Rams back at the 10-yard line. I thought Matt Eberflus responded very well to come out here and get a victory, end our losing streak, and get this team back to 2-2. What a game. Bears win. Tory Taylor also deserves a mention here. He was incredible today, punting through the Chicago winds, flipping the field when it mattered most, and routinely pinning the Rams deep in their own territory. What a game for the rookie punter, and what a time to do it during a week when I heard so many people criticizing Ryan Poles for drafting a punter. He comes through with one of the best games I've ever seen by a Bears punter in my life. Congratulations, and what a game for Tory Taylor. On defense, I have to mention Gervon Dexter, who got his 3rd sack of the season, had multiple quarterback hits, and looked awesome again. Gervon Dexter, my breakout player of the season, continues looking awesome. But the game ball on defense goes to Jaquan Brisker, who was all over the field getting a sack, nearly 2 interceptions, but he did ice the game with the big game-winning interception, and he had a sack and another big stop on 3rd down. Brisker was awesome today. He was all over the field. He's slowly becoming one of the leaders on this defense. What a performance from Jaquan Brisker. Also, I heard some people asking if Montez Sweat was back after today's game. I don't think Montez Sweat ever went anywhere. Yes, today was just his 1st sack of the season, but he's been getting triple teamed all year long and opening things up for other players on our defensive line. Montez Sweat has been awesome all year. But on offense, I did think our offensive line came together a little bit, and they built on last week's performance. Although there were too many penalties again, and we lost Tevin Jenkins to a rib injury, hopefully Tev can come back and be okay. But Nate Davis would come back into the game after Tev left, and he would immediately get a holding call, his 1st or 2nd play in the game, on what would have been a 1st down on a nice play to DJ Moore. But after that holding call, our offensive line did seem to settle down, and I actually saw Nate Davis with some nice blocks. Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones had probably their best games of the season, and Coleman Shelton looked pretty good as well. Doug Kramer would even come into this game at fullback multiple times, and he was in the game for Roschon Johnson's touchdown, helping pave the way into the end zone and reminding Bears fans of Refrigerator Perry during the 80s. It was awesome to see Doug Kramer out there, and it was awesome to see this offensive line playing much better. But overall, I feel like they are starting to gel and come together, and I hope they can continue building on this momentum next week. Also, Caleb Williams finally got into a rhythm. For the first time of the entire season, Caleb is starting to look comfortable behind this offensive line. He did have some clean pockets today, and he does need to do a better job of getting rid of the football when nothing is open. and he does still seem a little bit too amped up at times, again having multiple overthrows in this one. But his development has been nothing but positive. He really seemed like he's turned a corner so far. He didn't turn the ball over today, and I thought Caleb Williams really managed this offense well. He's a warrior out there. He took a lot of hits, and he bounces back after bad plays. I love what Caleb Williams brings to this offense. It was the penalties that killed us. 10 for 83 yards on the day. We need to stop hurting ourselves with those dumb penalties, especially from the veterans on the team like Cole Kmet and Mercedes Lewis. That's just really inexcusable, and our penalties also seem to come at the worst times. That's something they really need to clean up if we want to continue winning football games. The biggest bright spot to me was Caleb Williams not turning the ball over. That was key in helping us win this game. Caleb was not perfect, but he had 0 turnovers, and he led this offense to 24 points in his second career victory. He's clearly starting to look more comfortable, and Shane Waldron did a nice job of helping get him into a rhythm today. I love what I saw from the offense, and honestly, they were really close to scoring 2 more touchdowns. They just need to tighten up the timing on some of those routes, and the communication with Caleb and DJ and Caleb and Romo Dunze. They just need to make sure they're on the same page. This offense has so much potential. They've barely scratched the surface right now, but it did look like they started to carve out an identity. The defense, though, has been really great playing under Matt Eberflus. That's now 10 straight games dating back to last year that the Bears have not allowed more than 21 points in a game. It's the longest streak currently in the NFL. But even further than that, 9 of those 10 games, they've held teams to under 20 points. Matt Eberflus has this defense playing lights out. The Bears are 2-2 so far, undefeated at home, but going 0-2 on the road. And we have another winnable home game coming up against the Panthers next week. They are 1-3 and starting quarterback Andy Dalton. Honestly, to me, it would be a huge disappointment if we can't beat the Panthers and improve to 3-2. But in the NFL, there are no easy wins. So it's important for this coaching staff to take this game seriously and not overlook the Panthers. But for tonight, let's enjoy this victory. Sundays are always better when the Bears win. We are 2-2 and have the Panthers coming up next week. Hopefully, some of the negativity from this fan base can take a break for at least 1 week. How are you guys feeling after this win? There was a lot of people that were really negative last week. If you were one of those people, did this win change things today, or you still need to see more? And if you were someone that was positive, how do you feel after this win? I appreciate everyone who watches. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.